Wow, that was quite a Thursday night game, and it looked really cold and really blizzardy. And I'm thankful that it's probably not going to snow in Green Bay, although it did snow today in Green Bay. There was a little dusting of snow, little white snowflakes on Lambeau Field. I posted that on my stories on Instagram, but should be cold, but no precipitation. It's supposed to be cloudy. Anyways, that was a fun game to watch. And um, just a few notes from Thursday. I was up at practice, and kind of your usual suspects didn't practice. So no Tatum Bethune, no Nick Bosa. Jacob Cowing was limited yesterday, and then he must have had some concussion symptoms come back because he did not participate today. I did see him running on the side of the field. So he is active, he is moving, but he must have had some sort of symptoms come back. Kevin Givens still out, and Trent Williams out. Limited Christian McCaffrey, saw him doing his usual warm up. John Feliciano, George Kittle, Charvarius Ward, Mooney, and Purdy. All right. So the big one, of course, is Brock Purdy. Yesterday, Wednesday, he did not throw at all. Watched him for a full 28 minutes, not one throw, maybe a little underhand toss. Caught the ball, though. Today, he went through a few throwing motions, through a few passes for maybe about the first 12 minutes. So there's an opening period where they kind of run back and forth and do just calisthenics. And then the second period, the quarterbacks warm up with the quarterbacks coaches and some of the staff. So he did a few passes during that session. And then when they move over to another field to work out with the running backs and go through short passes. Brock Purdy went into the training room to get more treatment. So I don't know if that's a good sign. It's a good sign that he did throw a little bit, but he must be really sore for him not to participate in practice on Thursday. So he went in, got treatment. We did not see him again. We are only allowed to stay out through the first four periods. So we saw the wide receivers warm up. Brandon Allen and Joshua Dobbs did all of the first team reps, throwing passes to all the receivers, all the tight ends. So yeah, not great. Good that he's making progress, but not great for his availability on Sunday. Nick Bosa, again, not out there. So I don't know whether Nick Bosa plays. I think they have a big task in front of them in containing Josh Jacobs, number 3 rusher in the league. Trent Williams, though, Nick Bosa and Trent Williams, I feel like if they don't practice all week and if they feel good on Saturday, then they could play. So this is the interesting part of the scheduling. So on Friday, 49ers have a practice. Kyle Shanahan will declare who's out, who's questionable for the game. Then they all pack up everything, they get on their plane, and they leave for Green Bay. So on Friday, they go out there. So all of the stuff like the pressurization that happens, the altitude, all that happens Friday. So they have a full day on Saturday to recover. They will go through a walkthrough, but that extra time could help Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, and Trent Williams heal. Now, Trent Williams, we saw him battle through that ankle injury last week, and he was really borderline at game time. So it came right down to the wire. They kept him active. He played in the game, tore it all up his ankle, did some blocking moves with a couple guys, and he felt good enough to go. And he played a good game. So as far as Nick Bosa, he is so in tune with his body. I'm sure he'll know whether he's good enough to go or not. So I think we'll kind of find out more on Saturday, maybe Sunday. Um, I don't know if Nick Bosa plays. I do think Trent Williams probably will. Another element is that it depends how cold it is. I mean, you saw these guys on the field on Thursday night coming off the field. If Green Bay goes on a lengthy drive, how cold is Nick Bosa coming back off the bench to go into the game? If the defense is out there for a long time, how much does Trent Williams need to have to warm up to get his ankle up to speed to play in a game? So it's kind of interesting, it's tough to say who's going to play and who's not at this point, but they need everybody that they can get on the field. Good thing is George Kittle already declared that he is ready to go and he's going to play on Sunday. They needed him against the Seattle Seahawks. And I think honestly, if he was out there, they probably could have won, although he said he wasn't going to be his best self because he was so sore. But I do think that he makes a big difference on the field. Blocking, run blocking, pass protection, all of it. George Kittle as a receiver, just is such a huge component of this 49ers offense. All right, so with Nick Bosa out, and I discussed this on 49ers Now, which is our streaming show that happens every Wednesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Nick Bosa has 53 pressures, the most of the team. It is almost 29%. That's almost a third, just a little bit less than a third of all the pressures from the entire defense. That's Nick Bosa. Outside of that, it's Leonard Floyd. He has 35. Malik Collins has 30. Sam Okwanu, kind of new face, 18 pressures. He's number 4. Number 5 is the one that really was surprising to me, Kevin Givens, who hasn't played in a while, and he only has played 7 games. Kevin Givens has the 5th most pressures with 11. Yetur Gross-Matos only on the field for 4 games. He has 8. Javon Hargrave was on the field for 3. He has 8 also. Evan Anderson has 4, and Jordan Elliott has 3. Robert Beal has 1. So without Nick Bosa, these other guys are going to have to step up because Josh Jacobs is not easy to bring down. He's a big, stocky receiver, very solid. Just going to be tough. And the 49ers defense, they are not the stingy, stout defense that we have known for them to be for the last few years. They used to only allow, their goal was to have less than 100 yards rushing. 60 or 70 would be like their kind of ideal spot to allow rushing yards. This year, so far, through 10 games, they have allowed an average of 105 yards per game. I mean, it's not what we've seen from the defensive line. And yes, I do understand they're injured. I do understand Javon Hargrave is out. Dre Greenlaw isn't there to kind of stop the guys getting to the second level. But it is a concern when they're facing one of the top rushers in the league. So I think Jordan Love is, a guy who throws a pick every game. Deommodore Lenoir was hilarious when he was talking about how excited he is to face Jordan Love and how he was licking his fingers to get his hands on one of those footballs. So we'll see what happens there. Charvarius Ward was back in the building, back at practice, limited. I asked Jair Brown, I'm like, how is it to have Mooney back? And he was like, it's great to have him back. Sometimes guys need to be around their brothers, to have a little purpose, to have not necessarily distraction, but to, be able to take their mind off it for just a little bit, because when they're playing football, all they can do is focus on the ball, focus on the game. So for him to get out there and be around his brothers and be able to do that might be a good thing for him. So we haven't spoken to him though, just good to see him on the field. And hopefully he gets back on the field soon. We'll have the ins and outs on Friday. We did drop a podcast on Wednesday. It's a good one. I do say so myself. The 49ers Now. If you want to see Matt and myself crack up and almost not be able to talk, it is in the end of the 49ers Now, which you can watch on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And I'll be giving you an update tomorrow when we get the updates from Kyle on who's going to be active and who is going to be out for Sunday's game in Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra, which is hopefully not as frozen. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Leave me comments on what you'd like to hear from me. Also, please subscribe, share with your friends, and I really appreciate you watching. All right. Talk to you soon.